Georgia Tech at guard, a 6'2 freshman from Rego Park, New York, number 12, Kenny Anderson. And introducing the head coaches for Minnesota in his 4th season with the Golden Gophers, Clem Haskins. And for Georgia Tech in his 9th season with the Yellow Jackets, Bobby Cremins.
Yellow Jackets and Gophers ready to do battle here in New Orleans. We'll be back with the opening tip right after this. And Duke, today's officials, Jerry Donaghy, Sam Croft, Dave Libby. It'll be Willie Burton jumping at center for the Golden Gophers and Malcolm Mackey for Georgia Tech. Neither of these teams has ever won a regional final.
Well, right here is when you got the butterflies. Until that ball goes up, you don't know quite what you feel. You'll get an elbow or get down there and bump around, and you realize you're in the game, and it's time to suit up and go.
Georgia Tech with the basketball in white.
Minnesota's coming out right at the top, playing tough man-to-man defense. Coffey on Scott will be a good matchup.
Anderson back to Scott for a 3. Rebound, Oliver, and Oliver fouled on his way up. Foul is on Kevin Lynch.
Well, one of the ways I would suspect Georgia Tech is going to try to attack Minnesota is to try to get some offensive rebound baskets, some putbacks. Kevin Lynch has got a good lockup with Brian Oliver. Oliver struggled. Lynch, a smart player, able to play good defense on him.
Correction, that foul is on Willie Burton. Brian Oliver did not have the kind of game of which he is capable 2 nights ago as he misses the first, and Anderson then loses it out of bounds. Oliver scored just 11 points against Michigan State, and that's far below par for a guy who comes in averaging over 21 a game.
Georgia Tech testing the ball handling ability of Minnesota. Full court pressure right here.
Down into the corner to Shikanjansky and back out to Lynch and Burton. And now Melvin Newbern will trigger the offense.
This is a matchup they need to take advantage of if they can.
Big rejection by Mackey. Burton follows, has it stripped away by Dennis Scott. Here come the Yellow Jackets. Anderson. And Burton with the rebound.
The matchup I'm talking about is Kenny Anderson is only about 6'2", and he's trying to guard Kevin Lynch, who's about 6'4", and is accustomed to playing inside. So it's a chance to get a bucket, but also Anderson a foul.
Shikanjansky, the short pop and the foul, and he'll go to the line to try for a 3-point play. Mackey's first personal. Jim Shikanjansky, a 6'9" senior out of Rockton, Illinois.
He didn't play that well the other night, Greg, and I know when you talk to Clem, he wants Shikanjansky to be a force inside.
Minnesota with the 2-point lead. And here's Oliver into the lane. And picked off by Richard Coffey, who had a great night against Syracuse the other night. All the way across court, Newbern for 3. Coffey there for the rebound. He misses it. Newbern up high, loose ball, and saved before it went out of bounds. Newbern will put it up again.
Oh, you can't give anybody that many opportunities. Georgia Tech just standing around. Minnesota coming up with the ball, couldn't get it down.
3-1 Gophers. McNeil putting the ball on the floor inside and now goes back on top. Anderson was the quick starter for Georgia Tech Friday night.
There's a little jitters right here. Guys not holding on to the ball when you see them doing that missing wide open shots they normally make. Just a little early jitters.
Oliver's drive. Looks like it went off the side of the backboard. And the officials say out of bounds to Georgia Tech.
I was hoping somebody blocked it because, boy, he threw that one to the side of the backboard.
Good pass underneath, and Scott lost the handle.
Melvin Newberger's got the task of trying to guard Kenny Anderson. That's a good choice there. Newberger, good athlete, maybe able to slow him up, slow Anderson up.
What a move inside by Dennis Scott for the first field goal of the afternoon for Georgia Tech. And we're tied at 3. to Willie Burton down low, working on Scott. And again, Scott strips the ball, but the follow-up is good, and we've got a player down. That looks like Malcolm Mackey, who may have caught a hand in the face.
Well, it very well could have been that. When Burton is taking the ball to the basket, first of all, they allow him to get it. You see it right there in the middle of the screen. Dennis Scott's allowing him to get it, and yeah, what happened was Willie Burton, in his effort to try to get the ball back as Dennis Scott hit Malcolm Mackey in the face, but he seems to be all right.
Meanwhile, Willie Burton is holding his hand down court. And while Mackey is treated on the sideline, number 5, Carl Brown, has come into the lineup for Georgia Tech.
Carl Brown, a good defensive player.
Scott. Nice move to the baseline by Dennis Scott.
Dennis Scott, that's the way he got off against Friday night against Michigan State. You can't play behind him because he's 6'8", and it's very tough down on the block. You need to front him.
Burton open for the three-pointer. Around and out, tap no good. And Brown has it up the sideline. And after a scramble, Scott has the ball. Anderson around Lynch. What a move by Kenny Anderson.
That's where he can get you. If the game gets wide open, Kenny Anderson can really beat you because he's got so much ball handling skills and an ability to get any way he wants on the court.
Tech with a 7-5 lead.
Brown really harassing Newberg.
And the foul is called on Carl Brown. And Brown insisting that Newbern wrapped his arm around him to get past that.
You can see that in intensity in Carl Brown's face. And I'm not so sure that he's not right, Carl Brown, about the wrap. But I think there's definitely a push by Carl Brown before that wrap. That's why they put Brown in the game. Be harassing on the defensive end.
Number 40, Walter Bond, is in the lineup for Minnesota now. Batted out of bounds, and the Gophers will inbound again.
Now Minnesota will play 7, 8 people off the bench where Georgia Tech really won't. And what I expect is you run as many people as you can at Kenny Anderson to try to tire him out.
Chicken-Jansky off the pick. And here comes Scott with Oliver. Scott's going to keep it. And he travels. 15:59 to play, first half. Georgia Tech, 2-point lead. We'll be back to New Orleans after this. Duke and Arkansas will meet in one game in Denver, and the winner of this one will play the winner of the one to follow today. University of Nevada, Las Vegas against Loyola Marymount. Get the track shoes out for that one.
Yeah, you see that you need the track shoes out. Loyola Marymount is in better shape than they were the first time that Las Vegas played them.
Bond to Chicken-Jansky. Around and out, tap up no good, another one no good, and Burton helps crash the board.
That is just going to bury Georgia Tech if they don't get on the defensive board.
Oliver back in a hurry and scores. Big power move.
Well, see, that's what they want to do. They'll push it up, but they can't afford to give up the board.
Back comes Newbern, and they lost it out of bounds. No, saved by Walter Bond. Lynch, good bounce pass. Willie Burton on the pass from Lynch. 6 points for Burton, and we have a tie at 9. Kenny Anderson.
Get any way he wants on the court, Greg. I'm telling you, as good as anybody I've ever seen at the point guard spot, getting to where he needs to get.
After a cold start, the Yellow Jackets have now hit their last 5 shots, and they have a 2-point lead.
Georgia Tech has come out now and gone into their 2-1-2, 2-3 zone.
Chicken-Jansky finds the hole in the middle, and it falls.
The last place you should get it is in the middle with a 2-1-2.
Scott, three-pointer. And Walter Bond has the rebound for Minnesota. Bud Haskins says the Gophers have to own the boards today.
And whether they're really getting it is on the offensive board. And I'm not sure that's something that Kim expected.
McNeil made Chicken-Jansky adjust his shot. Here comes Anderson.
Got to get back.
A freshman with the poise of a senior.
You know, you and I were talking about this. Kenny Anderson reminds me of Nate Tiny Archibald, who played at Texas El Paso, UTEP, was Texas Western then. Quick, gets where he wants to go, can score as well as pass.
Those aren't bad credentials to have. Kevin Lynch, three-pointer. And back come the Jackets in a hurry. Oliver around. appear both teams have been instructed to push it and push it hard.
Yeah, it was. Georgia Tech really wants to push it up, and Minnesota's taking advantage of the fact that Georgia Tech will run on the offensive end and has struggled getting back defensively.
Shikanjansky with another bucket, and Anderson inside, tied up by Shikanjansky. And possession arrow favoring Minnesota. Into the lineup for the Gophers, number 33, Richard Coffey, and number 15, Carnell Lewis. And now number 55, Bob Martin, the 7-foot sophomore, will also enter the game.
Martin had a big game. Shikanjansky started off well, but Martin had a big game against the other night. But what I see that Clem is going to do is he's going to run all these people into the game because he sees it's going to be an up-and-down contest. And I'd say it favors him in the fact that he's got a deeper ball club.
Witness the fact that both Scott and Anderson played all 45 minutes Friday night. Carnell Lewis with a good fake. Scott for Anderson. 8 points for Kenny Anderson. And back come the Gophers. Lynch on the drive, and he's fouled by McNeil. Right now, Nevada, Las Vegas, and Loyola Marymount would be hard-pressed to match this.
I was going to say that. This is as good an athlete as Clem Haskins has on his team and Kevin Lynch. You know, when you talk to the coaching staff, they said that Kevin Lynch has got to play big for him. He's got to score. You saw him shoot the three-pointer. He can take it to the basket, and he had a big half on Friday night. He needs to continue that.
And it was the second half, too. He had a 2-point first half and came out blazing with 16 in the second half to help beat Syracuse. There's the 4-year coach, Clem Haskins. Lynch hits them both, and Melvin Newbern checks back into the lineup for Minnesota.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Melvin Newberg just tell his man to come out. They took Kevin Lynch out of the game. Newberg is in it. They're going to try a little full-court man-to-man pressure. That's what I would do. I'd try to make Kenny Anderson dribble the ball as much as I can, as far away from the basket to try to wear him out.
Carnell Lewis is on Anderson now. He's just poked free for a shot, and it didn't fall. Newbern, good change of direction.
Folks, if you haven't seen Melvin Newberg before, he can do those kinds of things, especially in the fast break. Good open court play.
Minnesota with its biggest lead now, 20-15, 12-15 to play first half. Carl Brown open for the three. And Lewis has the rebound.
Stop him. Kenny Anderson didn't get back. And all of a sudden, Carnell Lewis was at the basket, and nobody from Georgia Tech stopped the ball. You must stop the ball in the fast break situation.
And Lewis all over Kenny Anderson, and the backcourt is charged with the foul. There's a timeout on the court with 11:52 to play in the first half. Minnesota leads at 22-15.
Players are running here, but this is the only player with his head back. Georgia Tech is just pushing the ball down the sideline right now, and Minnesota's got to find out where the people are. So right here, you just look right up, and Kenny Anderson just throws the ball back because he knows on the sideline there's not a Minnesota player there. You see it finished off by Brian Oliver. You've got to keep your head on the swivel when you're going back on the defensive end.
Georgia Tech inbounding the ball, and Carnell Lewis giving big pressure underneath. See, the Gophers have been on a tear over the last 3.5 minutes. Carnell Lewis now being warned. Clem Haskins says of Lewis, opposing guards don't phase our guards after they practiced against Carnell.
There's some players you want on a team because they can give you something in the game. Carnell can do that, but what he really does is harass both Lynch and Newberg all day in practice. So they're used to pressure because Carnell Lewis is a valuable player on the team.
Well, Kenny Anderson is getting his first rest of the day. Oliver open. Mackey with the rebound, and Carl Brown will start it over. And Dennis Scott will put up a
major league three-point from there.
7 for Dennis Scott, who set an ACC record for three-pointers in a season this year with 121 of them. Newbern in the lane. And was lucky to get the ball back.
He really was. He got the good head and shoulders fake, had the shot, missed it.
Scott, another three-pointer. And Scott will go to the baseline off the glass too hard, and that's a travel. A couple of Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets fighting for the basketball.
See, I'll imagine you'll see Kenny Anderson get back in the game because he is the one player that gets Dennis Scott shots in the floor of the offense, because Dennis' second shot was just something he threw up there. That's why he missed the whole thing.
Anderson back in to replace Carl Brown. Under 11 minutes to play in the first half. Greg Gumbel, Quinn Buckner at the Louisiana Superdome. 24-18. Minnesota on top and with the basketball.
Georgia Tech back in man-to-man.
Newbern inside. Nice move. Didn't get the roll or the bounce. And Mackey has the rebound. Oliver, good look inside from Mackey, but he's tied up. And the foul is going to be called. Just about 10 and a half to play. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans. The winner here between Minnesota and Georgia Tech moves on to Denver. Join the Final Four. And right now, Minnesota leads at 24-18. It has been Minnesota that has been taking advantage of the up-tempo pressure thus far.
And they also, Greg, have been getting some good defensive effort, but more importantly, they've gotten some offensive rebound baskets, some putbacks.
Richard Coffey with the foul. That's his first.
Now the Golden Gophers, number 33, Richard Coffey. That's his first personal 14.
And back into the game is Willie Burton from Minnesota. He'll replace Walter Bond.
At the line for the Yellow Jackets, shooting two.
Here's Brian Oliver. Had a great ACC tournament. Finished as the MVP with 70 points and 15 rebounds and 7 assists.
Brian Oliver is one of those kids that originally Brian lived in Chicago, and he moved out of Chicago to go to Georgia, and he probably ended up somewhere in the Midwest, but I'm sure Bobby Crimmins is just tickled of having him down at Georgia Tech.
Burton called for the travel. Burton only a 12-point performance against Syracuse here Friday night.
And I've got to wonder, because as I was watching take that move, Greg, is he trying a little bit too hard? Because he's had some shots inside that he's fumbled getting the ball in as well.
There's an early key. That's the first Minnesota turnover. Scott open. And the rebound off to number 15, Darryl Barnes, who is in the game, and the turnover from Georgia Tech. Burton down to Shikanjansky, who doesn't take long to put it up.
Georgia Tech will play behind you. That's why Willie Burton gets the ball in the paint, and Shikanjansky, they've got to start getting up front.
Nice pass from Kenny Anderson to Brian Oliver. Roommate to roommate. Minnesota by 5. Burton.
Same thing. They were not Georgia Tech for some reason. Not front.
Burton has 8. Dennis Scott looking for Mackey underneath. Ball gets away. The Gophers have it. And lost it. Dennis Scott is fouled as he went to the hoop, and that'll be on Kevin Lynch. That is the 3rd time already in this game that Dennis Scott has stripped the ball.
Well, Dennis has got very quick hands, and I thought Willie Burton got a little bit of impatient here. You see Scott with the ball right here, and then he goes between 2 defenders, and then Kevin Lynch reaches in there. The official felt he got some hand, made the call.
Dennis Scott shoots 79% from the line. Substitution into the game for Georgia Tech is Johnny McNeil.
Johnny McNeil replacing number 32, Malcolm Mackey.
Getting a lot of bodies in here, going up and down the court, especially for people like Mackey and McNeil and Barnes. That wears the big men out.
Hit them both. He now has 9 points, and it's 28-23 Minnesota as we approach the 9-minute mark. Top top of the key, Shikenjansky. Gophers are really clicking and making the most of their shots.
Yeah, you're right. That was just good patience. They had run the play twice to Willie Burton's side and then ran it off the backside to come back to Shikenjansky for the open jump shot.
Shikenjansky averages 9. He already has 11. Scott on his way to the hoop. Throws it up. Foul will be called out front. I want to remind you that following our action here in New Orleans, we'll take you out to Oakland. Brent Musburger, Billy Packer standing by to bring you the West Regional Final between the Lions of Loyola Marymount and the Running Rebels of UNLV. As well call them the Running Lions, too.
There will be some running in that game. Jerry Tarkanian said his club will run. And if he runs with Loyola Marymount, if Loyola's making those shots, it's going to be a long afternoon for the Rebels.
Brent and Billy have done some training for this one. Dennis Scott has his first free throw bounce off the front. Points for Scott. 6-point Gophers lead. Newbern to the baseline, up and over the rim, and the foul is called. Newbern is deceptively quick.
Melvin Newbern is a nice player, and by that I mean he'll surprise people. And I've said he reminds me of Ray Williams. He'll lull you to sleep, go left, go right, get the ball up behind his head. That time the defense just fell asleep on him, and he took it to the baseline. Strong got the foul.
Had a strong 20-point game in the victory over Syracuse.
See, Johnny McNeil with his second personal becomes something significant here if he gets the third one, obviously, because Georgia Tech doesn't have as many big bodies that they can keep running in there, and it almost got them in trouble Friday night. So they've got to be concerned about the inside players getting in foul trouble.
Newbern missed them both. Here's Anderson.
Lighten up, you two guys! Lighten up!
Now Carl Brown will look for Anderson again. Here's Scott. They're going to double him. Backed his way in, and that's a charge.
They were going to try to double him, and Dennis Scott heard it, and because Richard Coffey hollered, now, and in his anxiousness, Dennis Scott lost his balance and ran into Richard Coffey.
Player control foul on the Yellow Jackets, number 4, Dennis Scott. That's his first personal.
Sixth turnover for Georgia Tech. And right now, you'd have to say things are going the way of the Gophers.
They've had the tempo they like, Greg. They run smartly, if you will. They'll run only when they have advantage. They won't try to force it up, where Georgia Tech will at times just try to force the action up.
Burton for three. Oliver has it. Here come the Jackets. Anderson around his man and nails it.
Basket by the Yellow Jackets, number 12, Kenny Anderson.
10 points for Kenny Anderson. Georgia Tech within 4. You see a very active Bobby Cremens on the sideline.
Boy, is he ever active.
Bond tried to get it down low, tapped away. Brown comes up with it.
Well, he got that activity over to his players, and that's what he was really saying. Guys, you need to get more activity in the zone defense.
McNeil kicks it back outside. Scott. Well, he can hit a shot from anywhere.
Quick release, too.
(30-28). Minnesota's lead down to 2. And the Georgia Tech fans have come alive here in New Orleans. Newbern to the baseline.
I'm telling you.
Anderson back in a hurry and lost control. And Newbern will push it back 1-on-3. And batted out of bounds by Anderson. 6.5 minutes of play. Breakneck pace. We'll take a pause and come back to New Orleans in a moment. Reaches its grand finale in Denver. Begins at 5 Eastern time with a Final Four preview, followed at 5:30 by the national semis. You know, one of the two matchups is Duke and Arkansas, and the winner here meets the winner of the game to follow between Nevada, Las Vegas, and Loyola Marymount. That's coming up Saturday here on CBS. 6.5 to play. First half, Minnesota leading it by 4. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner, and perhaps a faster-paced game than we expected, Quinn.
Well, in the fact that these teams scored about 80 points a game, I'm not sure that it really is. But what we didn't anticipate as much as Minnesota is usually more of a, they take advantage of breaks, but they don't push it. And they have pushed it once or twice more often than I thought they would.
Connell Lewis back in the game for Minnesota.
They're playing this 1-2-2 zone, and inside they can get it to Shikanjansky anytime they want to. And outside with Willie Burton, they got a 3-point threat. So right now they got it going pretty well inside.
Shikanjansky with 13. And the Gophers by 6. Brown snakes his way inside and missed the layup. Rebounded by Coffey. Burton finds himself open.
The zone lost him. I don't know how you lose a Willie Burton. He was standing on the right side of the court. He came back to the left, and nobody from Georgia Tech ever looked at him.
Burton has 11 with that 3. It's 37-28, and now the Gophers enjoying their biggest lead, but back comes Anderson on the baseline. Coming up on 5 minutes to play, first half.
You'll see Minnesota be patient because they figured out they can get good shots. They've gotten them inside, as well as we saw Willie Burton just knock one down outside, so they just need to be patient.
Burton, good move to the basket, rolls around and out, and Coffey with the follow. Richard Coffey's first bucket gives Minnesota the 9-point lead.
Got a 5-second call.
Take a look at Kenny Anderson, and we keep talking about how this young man is quick, Quinn. You maybe don't realize it until you have to try and defend him.
Well, this is after behind-the-back pass, and he gets on the defense so quick. Shikanjansky can't cut him off, and he goes in the trees with the big people still able to get it down. I mean, he does. He gets at you so quickly that you don't have a chance to react. He puts you on your heels.
Second time down court after that. He's called for the 5-second call, and here's Minnesota. Bond. Again, Minnesota tough on the offensive board.
And that was 2 against 5. I mean, Georgia Tech is just not blocking out.
Burton 3. And the Gophers are on fire. 14 for Burton, 12-point lead for the Gophers. Oliver off the baseline, and the follow-up by Carl Brown. Brown sneaking inside from the backside.
That time Minnesota got a little bit of its own medicine. They didn't block out and got the shot taken on them.
Here's Burton into the lane. Willie Burton with 16 points now, and again, back down court in a hurry. The block by Burton won't count. That'll call you a goaltend. 3:27 to play. First half, we'll take a break with the Golden Gophers looking golden. At this end of the court.
Well, on the offensive end of the court, Greg, what they've done, Willie Burton as well as Richard Coffey, is they've gotten some putbacks. They got 31 points from the front court, and Tech only got 14. All of it by Scott. So Georgia Tech needs to get some more help, particularly from Brian Oliver.
10 offensive rebounds for the Gophers. And that's a charging call on Walter Bond. Carl Brown working hard on defense. And goes to the sideline limping.
Yeah, but I guarantee you he'll be back in the game. We watched him on Friday night go down 3 times, I mean hard, and get right back up and play. So I guarantee you he'll stay in the game if at all possible.
Well, he's never leaving. 10-point Minnesota lead.
Change the defense here. You got a 1-2-2. They play a little bit of I call it their lead with defense, kind of a matchup, but they play like a 1-2-2 zone.
Scott nails another 3-pointer.
That's the man you have to be concerned about, 3-point shooter.
That's 17 for Dennis Scott. Inside, Newburn, no, loose ball, here comes Tech. Up ahead for Oliver. To Scott for 3. And that'll be a foul on Mackey. I want to remind you, at the conclusion of every CBS Sports NCAA tournament broadcast, we select the Chevrolet most valuable player from each team. Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. Foul was on Dennis Scott at the other end of the court. That's his second. And Jim Chicken-Jansky back into the lineup for Minnesota.
Clem Haskins looked to try to get some more inside play because Georgia Tech went into a man-to-man, and that means Chicken-Jansky is going to be guarded by a guard most likely. Right now, Brian Oliver's got it.
Lob for Newbern, and Newbern around. Carl Brown doesn't go. Follow up Coffey.
Georgia Tech is standing and watching. They're not blocking out at all.
2:10 to play, first half. Here's Anderson to the baseline. Throws it up and draws the foul. And he was nailed.
Here's an example right here. Melvin Newberg takes the shot, and you see that Georgia Tech's player are standing outside. You see 3 of them out here. Richard Coffey, with a nose for the ball, will come up with it 9 times out of 10 because that's what Richard Coffey's on the floor to do, rebound primarily.
Mario Green, number 5, into the lineup for Minnesota. 6'2" junior from Freeport, Bahamas.
He comes in, does Mario, to give a break to Melvin Newbern. Having to guard Kenny Anderson is enough for 2 people. So they're going to give him a break.
$14 points for Anderson. 46-39 with 2 minutes to play.
Georgia Tech has tightened up their defense a little bit, Greg. They're starting to be a little more aggressive out on the front.
Bond to the baseline, missed everything. 2-on-1, and now Burton joins the fray. Anderson, change of pace. Oh, what a shot. And Mario Green called for the foul, and he doesn't think he's guilty.
Well, if you let Kenny Anderson get into an open court game, you're at his mercy because he can stop on the dime as he did that time and then he can take off. I'm sure Clem Haskins would have told his team, if you can come out and pick him up early and make him make a decision, it helps everybody getting back to protect.
Three-point play by Anderson. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, road to the Final Four. And the Tech fans making some noise now as Minnesota's lead is down to 4. Burton. Three-pointer puts it back to 7.
I don't think they believe Willie Burton can shoot.
Burton has 19. Oliver blocked by Burton, and he brings it back out front. That's an offensive foul on Brown.
Player control foul on the Yellow Jackets, number 5, Carl Brown. That's his second personal. Back in for the Golden Gophers, number 20, Melvin Newbern.
Clem Haskins, after 6 years at Western Kentucky, now in his 4th season as head coach of the Golden Gophers. Of course, what a player he was at Western Kentucky.
And not to mention 9 years in the NBA. Clem Haskins, Clem the Gym, they used to call him.
Baseline, losing the handle was Newbern, and here comes Anderson. Foul by Burton, and Anderson will make another appearance at the free throw line.
You know, Fabius Crimmins' crew is doing a good job pushing the ball up the court, but at the last 2 times I've seen the fast break situation, there hasn't been much defensive transition on the part of Minnesota. They've got to get the guards back because Kenny Anderson is just a handful.
Jim Nantz, Mike Francesa will be bringing you the complete look at the Final Four picture from our studio in New York, and another 53 seconds coming up at halftime.
One shot, guys, one.
Mike Francesa probably has another one of those neat ties today, don't you think?
Mike Francesa is doing all right with his ties. I'll give him credit.
Anderson now 5 out of 5 from the line, 49-44 Minnesota. 31, Rob Metcalf in for the Gophers. Well, he has the ball.
Yeah, Metcalf would come in. He was originally going to Virginia and decided to come back closer to home. He's from the Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin.
25 on the shot clock, 10-second difference between it and the game clock. And that's a 5-second violation at the Golden Gophers, and that could be a mistake here.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the ball. You know, at this time, you've got the clock in your favor, and that's usually just a mental lapse. It's good defense, but that's a mental lapse. You see what Dennis Scott and Kenny Anderson means to the team. 36 out of 44 points. They've been very active.
And Georgia Tech now looking for some momentum to go into the locker room. Let's see what Kenny Anderson and Bobby Cremins have in mind here. And the steal and out of bounds. Newbern took advantage of when Anderson turned around to look at Bobby Cremins.
I'm laughing. I like that. In my old time days, that's just what I'd wait for the coach to tell him what to do and go for the ball.
That's time remaining in the half on the lower right of your screen.
They're going to go two-man game right here and try to get Kenny Anderson and Dennis Scott involved.
Long three-pointer, he nails it. 2 seconds. The long throw to the other end is overthrown, and that'll do it for not a bad half of basketball here in New Orleans. That's the end of the first half with the score: Minnesota 49, Georgia Tech 47. And CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship continues after this message and a word from